My mother's pronouncements always held a ring of self-justification. But that morning, the tone was distinctly colder. The message was brief. Your father and I have sold your seaside house to settle your sister's debts. You didn't require it anyway, right? She is family. No apology, no phone call, just an assumption that I would accept the seizure of everything I had built. Quietly as always, I stared at the screen in the train's dim light. The rhythmic drone beneath me seemed almost derisive. My reflection looked placid, controlled, dispassionate. But inside, a low flame began to ignite, steady and focused. They imagined distance made me powerless. They were mistaken. The house was more than mere property, it was a commitment. Following many years of overseas work, 13-hour shifts, months without a break, I had constructed it from the ground up on the cliffs near the coast. Every ceramic tile, every piece of salvaged wood furniture, every pane of glass facing the ocean was chosen by me. It was the only possession untainted by my family's disorder. My sister Mary had perpetually been different. Alluring, reckless, captivating. She could talk her way out of any predicament. My parents never noticed her destructiveness, only her charm. Each time she failed, they expected me to resolve the situation. And for years I did silently until I stopped. That is when the resentment began. Not mine, but theirs. When I ceased being the financial mainstay, I became the villain. To them, independence was treachery. It commenced subtly. 2 unreturned calls from my father. A late evening message from my mother. Please contact us soon. It is urgent. I ignored it. I had learned that urgent typically meant costly. Then came the hush. For 7 days, no contact until that electronic mail. Chilling, practical. They were unaware that the house had been under a legal framework I established years ago, a holding corporation registered in my name, but protected by a financial representative abroad. I learned early that familial affection was undependable, but agreements were reliable. Still, I did not reply. I made no accusations. I issued no threats. I allowed them to presume they had succeeded. When I arrived in San Diego 2 days later, I did not proceed to their residence. I visited the bank. I reviewed the trust, confirmed every title document, every provision. Then I reached out to the local law enforcement and reported the transaction. Deception, unauthorized transfer, and misrepresentation of ownership. By the time the police report was filed, I had already tracked the movement of funds. The house had been sold to a mid-level real estate broker named Arthur Hall, a convenient fall guy. The funds never even reached the family's official accounts. It was funneled directly into Mary's offshore wagering account, sloppy, predictable. That evening, I telephoned the police officer managing my matter and supplied him with Arthur's private telephone number. Wait for my sign before you take action, I instructed him. Then I called Arthur and offered him a bargain. He confessed rapidly. Fear has that effect. Mary had persuaded my parents to sign forged documents claiming my endorsement. She informed him I was too busy overseas to care. I told Arthur to remain quiet and cooperate. In return, I promised to clear his reputation once the truth emerged. Next, I contacted my sister. She answered on the second ring, her voice smooth, faking innocence before I even accused her. I hear you are displeased, she said. Mom and Dad did what they had to do. You know how terrible things became. I interrupted her. Do not give an explanation. I comprehend. And I did. I grasped everything. She misread my composure for pardon. She did not know that every word she uttered after that would become part of my quiet retribution. I recorded the conversation. Every nonchalant admission, every falsehood she attempted to contort into a justification. Then I vanished from her existence for a fortnight. When the legitimate property agent Arthur called my parents to verify the property title, confusion started. He requested my authorization to finalize the transfer paperwork. My mother confidently stated it is already completed. We have sold it. The agent replied with perplexity, that is impossible. The ownership belongs to an international trustee and only the primary beneficiary, your son, can sell. I was not present, but I envisioned their silence, the kind that stretches too long for a recovery. Within hours, the police arrived at their door with an authorization for a search. Fraud, forgery, conspiracy to defraud an international asset. Mary's name was listed first, my father's second. I did not press criminal charges for incarceration. I did not need to. The public disgrace, the frozen accounts, the calls from relatives, that was sufficient punishment. The house remained mine legally untouched. But their reputation, that was ruined. 3 weeks later, I visited them. The dwelling felt smaller, My mother avoided eye contact. My father tried to explain himself, his voice trembling with the pressure of vanity and sorrow. You did not have to go this far, he declared. I did not, I calmly responded. You did. Mary sat in the corner, arms folded, eyes crimson. You destroyed us. I looked at her. No, I just reminded everyone.